Hey, Soldier7 here, and this video I'm going to be doing another 20-year anniversary video for this month and for another game, and in this case that game is going to be Mortal Kombat Deception. Now, as you know, last month Mortal Kombat Deception just had its 20-year anniversary, although there was no big celebration over it, which although you think there would be because of the game, because of the franchise and what it's most known for and how popular it is, how popular it was at the time. And yeah, I just wanted to wish it a 20-year anniversary and talk about it a little bit. Now, as you know, it was released in 2004, around the month of October, and it was a pretty good game. It was pretty interesting. I wouldn't say it was one of my favorites, but it's definitely up there. It's pretty close, which I'll get to in a bit, because from what I do understand, is that around the same time, about 2 years ago, the game that came out before this was Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and it had its 20-year anniversary at the time, but I didn't really talk much about it, although I thought that was better than this one because it was pretty cool. Although this one is still pretty good too. This one was pretty good itself. I think this was during a period. I think like this and the one that came out before it, and the one that came out after it, which would be Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which I still think is the best of the franchise. But the thing about this one is that this was in the range where I think Mortal Kombat was at its peak, or in my opinion, I think was at its best. And like I said, just to mention this game, Mortal Kombat Deception had its 20-year anniversary, and yeah, I think it was pretty good. The storyline was pretty interesting, just like it was back in the day. And then keep in mind, this was during the Midway days, which I thought the franchise was much more interesting back then than it is now. Which I won't get too deep into, but I think after the Mortal Kombat game that was released in 2011, yeah, I haven't really been real big on the franchise, but I still like the franchise from growing up. A part of me is still attached to it for that reason. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. I know I'm getting off topic a little bit, but I'm just talking about this game and talk about it was a good game. It had a pretty interesting storyline. It had some pretty interesting characters that were new, and it even had some interesting like other alternative modes. Like you had conquest mode, you had chess mode, which was pretty interesting. I kind of had a blast playing with that, because even though I'm not really good at chess, but even if you weren't, there were like some backup plans you could use. Like you could have like cast a spell or something to like vanquish an enemy or vanquish one of your pawns or whatnot or whoever. And sometimes if you were just not making any good moves, you could always, like when someone was about to take your place or to take one of your pawns or whatnot or whoever, like the knight or the sorcerer or whatever, you would have a match to determine whether or not if you got to keep your place or not, and if you win, you did. And then you had conquest mode, which I never really finished, but I know what it was about. It was about the character Shujinko, and you get to play as him in the game in the arcade mode, which was pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, one of the flaws I will say about it is that it didn't have my favorite character, Stryker, in it, or at least as a playable character, although he does show up in the conquest mode and so forth. But yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's a pretty good game. For those that feel like going retro and never played this game, I do recommend it. It's not the best in the franchise, but it's pretty high up there, and I think that this was during the time where Mortal Kombat was at its best, which was in the 2000s, mainly the early and mid 2000s. But yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, happy 20-year anniversary to Mortal Kombat Deception, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say for right now. This is Soldier7. Take care.